As we get into the dog days of the college football cycle, I wanted to give you all one last slider set that I have been using these past few months that has made my dynasties more fun now than any time earlier this season. It is quite different from our previous installments, so if you have seen those, be sure to stick around as this focuses more on fun gameplay with an underlying layer of realism, more so than what we've done in the past that has tried to match real life one-to-one. Lots of folks had some comments on the holding slider in particular in the last slider sets, so we needed to take another stab at it. I appreciate y'all tuning in. I hope y'all enjoy these. Let me know in the comments what you all think of them when you can get a chance to try them. I've been using them for at least two of my dynasties that have both gone 10 plus years, so they've been working out great for me. But without further ado, let's get right into these. So if you've already seen this section before, just go ahead and skip to the next one. But as always, we need to start this off by going to our home screen. This makes it 10 times easier to upload these settings into your future dynasties. But you're going to head over to the settings tab, hit the game settings selection, and then you're going to go over to your settings and hit up player skill, CPU skill, and this is where you're going to set up your settings. I'm going to jump into the dynasty mode just so it looks more realistic when you look at it, but you're going to set yours up here for the first time if this is your first time. And then once you're done, you hit R3 and you save it. And then once you save it, you can say here, you can save different ones. This is the one we used most recently. I've been using it since December. I've loved it. I've changed it here and there, but I think it's great. So I want you all to use it. But again, save it and you'll be able to upload it for all your future dynasties. It saves you like 10 minutes every single time. And then once you get into your dynasty, go ahead and go to gameplay sliders and you'll be able to load those straight in. You hit triangle or Y if you're on Xbox and it'll load it straight up. But this is what we've been using. This is what it's going to be set at if you're setting up for the first time. Quarterback accuracy is going to be a 40, pass blocking 55. I'm not going to run through every single one of these, so if you want to pause now, but I will talk about some of the reasons why we did some things. But run blocking, we had this higher before, but we dropped this to 35. You can switch between, I think 32 to 38 is probably a good range. 35 is solid for a mediocre team. So if you want to progress your dynasty, you might need to change it if you're starting out lower and then go into a higher team. Ball security is kind of a non-starter. You can kind of really use this anywhere. I haven't seen a big change if you want to bump it up or down 10 points. Pass defense reaction time is a big one. You want to keep this at 58 or honestly a little higher. Just the CPU on Heisman difficulty is miserable, like for you specifically. On the other side of the ball, when the CPU is controlling the defense, they're amazing. So 58 here, and then pass coverage 65. This will help your defense stick to guys and give them smaller windows. They're still going to pass, but this should help those robo QBs a ton. And then getting over the CPU skill. So speaking of robo QBs, we're dropping the quarterback accuracy down to 25. This should help that some. So you'll see some missed balls that are just kind of thrown over the quarterback's head, and you shouldn't have, 3 or 4 games a season where the quarterback throws 90+% completions. You still might have 1 or maybe 2 that are 80+, but I mean, that's just the game coding. You're not going to be able to change that 100% of the time. Wide receiver catching, again, 38 will help that. Run blocking for the CPU, though, you want to turn this up to 46 to 50. This will help the run blocking of the CPU get better and average more per carry. If you drop it lower than this into the 30s, they just have a really, really tough time getting the ball to go down on the ground. And then for the defense, you want to turn down your pass defense reaction time to 32. Again, they're just really good at playing defenses, so it makes it hard for you all. And then interceptions, I honestly would even turn this down further, but I do like a little bit more of a challenge. The CPU is amazing at catching things. If it's like 45 plus, you're going to have the CPU catching the ball every single time they get their hand on it. That just doesn't happen in real life. And then 45, turning this down a little bit, limits some of the auto tackling that the CPU seems to get. It'll allow, jukes and spin moves to actually work. If you have this like 50 plus, even 55 plus, spin moves just really don't work as well from what I've seen on Heisman. And then for special teams, you're going to set this up for both the CPU and for you. This is exactly what you need to do on both. And this is also the benefit of if you save it, it'll import it. So right now, this is just for you. So if you don't save it beforehand, if you just do this up in your dynasty, you can't change the CPU settings for whatever reason. It's been the same issue for 2 years. I don't know why they updated it. But copy these down for both the CPU and for player skill. And here's another big change that we've made. I turned a lot of the precipitation stuff way down in the past, but I've turned this back up because you see less rain games. EA did have an update, I think shortly after or around the same time of our last slider set where they turned down the rain games a ton. So you only see 1, maybe 2 a year. So I like having some difficulty in those games and the rain actually affecting it. So this is what you're going to set it up to. Minimum player speed threshold is 15. Honestly, anything under like 40 should be fine. So if you don't want to go all the way down to 15, go to 40. It just basically means the lowest speed setting that somebody can have, and nobody in the game has below a 40, I think. So it's not going to really change much. And then fatigue's another one we changed, 65. Then injuries to 48. I felt like there was a lot of injuries. That was another issue some people had, was that there was just way too many injuries. So this is on 48. And then for penalties, the biggest change of the settings, I do believe, offside to 75, false start to 85, then holding we turn back to neutral, which is going to be 50. Again, it says on the top right hand corner that it's based off college football data. I don't necessarily believe that, but a lot of people did not like the fact that we had a ton of holding calls. Some people were saying they were getting 10 to 15 holding calls a game. I never personally saw that. I saw maybe 6-ish. And that was honestly when we were playing with lower tier players. As you got with better tier players, I saw that reduce even further. So I don't really know what the issue was on your offsides. Maybe there was a phantom update that I just didn't really see. But it's been a while, so we changed it. There, that is 40 for face mask, 75 for DPI. And then here's the rest of them if you want to go ahead and copy those down. Probably should have mentioned this in the beginning, but Heisman is going to be on. All this other stuff is kind of per preference. I play on slower. It might be a little bit slow for others. Obviously, injury on. Manual progression, it's up to you. I didn't personally manually progress in this Dynasty, so it didn't really matter to me. But I do play on 12-minute quarter links and 15-minute play clock time. If you choose to go a little bit slower or like a little bit faster games, so 10-minute games, I would turn this up to at least 18, even not 20. And if you go down to 8-minute games, turn that all the way up to 25, I think is the highest it goes. Yeah, turn it up to 25 because the game will go way too quick if you have it on 15 seconds. That's another 10 seconds every single time you call a play. And then wear and tear again, we've toggled these a little bit, but you can see these here. You can go ahead and pause the videos if you want to copy these down. I turn a lot of them down because, again, we were seeing a lot of injuries, so it's not going to be as impactful. But then we also turn the per play recovery and all those recovery pools way up. So you should see less career-ending injuries, and you should see, if you do have an injury, players come back a little bit quicker. So you'll be able to use those guys a little bit more. And this is kind of the more fun-focused aspect of it. Turning this down a little bit, well, you'll still see injuries, but they just won't be as long, and your players will come back, and you'll be able to use them longer. And then for transfers, it's just on standard settings. I've toggled this back and forth, and honestly, I can't really tell a difference. Obviously, you'll see more people in the portal, but is that as fun as it possibly is when you have a small rebuild team? Because you're going to be seeing the max transfer every single season unless you win out on the season. So this is up to you. Toggle it as you like it. If you like more transfers, turn it up. If you like less transfers, turn it down a little bit. One thing I didn't touch in this slider set is going to be XP settings. If you want XP settings, go look on Operation Sports, Twitter, or other YouTube creators. I just don't really see the benefit in it, just because you don't see a ton of change. I mean, you can turn quarterbacks up 50%, and they're going to improve maybe 1 or 2 overall more over the length of the dynasty. I've finagled with this up and down, left and right. I've tried a ton of different settings. I've used like 5 or 6 different creators settings, and I just never really focused or noticed a difference. And also for my dynasty where I was switching teams every 4 or 5 years, I just didn't really see the longevity of it. And then people always ask kind of what passing mechanics that I personally use. I use revamp passing with passing slowdown off, the increase small, the reticle speed at 7. I think this gives you the most realistic playing aspect of it. If you want more accurate, use placement and accuracy. It's going to be the most accurate for you if you're looking for like online competition type of stuff. But I think for revamp passing, it gives you enough control where you can still be good, but you still have some wild passes based off quarterback skill and stuff. And I just think this is the most well-rounded to give you that little bit of, user skill, but also some randomness and unknown to kind of make it seem a little bit more realistic and more dependent on player overall than just your complete 100% stick skill. And then for the last one, the assign auto subs, this is going to be your last settings you need to change, which actually you're not going to change any of them. I've changed this back. I did have halfback on, I think, it was keep fresh. You can still use that if you want to see more of your halfbacks come in and out. But honestly, with the new settings for the injury and fatigue and stuff, I'm leaving this on normal. The same thing with other things. Again, this is similar kind of XP slider stuff that I've changed it here and there. And the only real difference I saw was that you just got kind of deeper into your running back pool and stuff. It really didn't change how many times they were injured. If they were going to get injured, they were going to get injured. So it's kind of like 2 separate things. Fatigue and you have injury. So they don't really, they match a little bit. So as you get more fatigued, you're more easily injured. but it's not a one-to-one, so this is like a weird middle ground. I don't know. I personally don't finagle with it. I think the standard settings are good enough, but with that, that's the end of our slider set. I hope you enjoyed. I got a little bit of lengthy talking, so hopefully that doesn't upset you all, but I kind of want to explain the rationale behind some things because this is pretty different than what we've had before. So I appreciate y'all tuning in. If you like today's video, leave a like down below. It's the best way to support the channel, and hit a subscribe button if you're not yet subscribed. And let me know in the comments what you all thought of it. Again, I've used this for 10 plus years. You can see we're on 2033, and it's been a great slider set. So I hope you all enjoy. But as always, I'll catch you all in the next one.